This is the road least traveled in the world of beauty. And I just want to acknowledge you and congratulate you for heeding the call and just exploring these different ideas because I promise you that they're just going to exploring these ideas, investing in awareness, investing in yourself, it just pays dividends. It will pay dividends for the rest of your life. Um, I'm so grateful when I look back on the last, basically the last decade of my life. Well, I have been at this beauty business for 20 years officially as an esthetician. And then starting from a very young age, my sister's actually here right now. I mean, my mom, our mom was telling us a story of when I was a little girl, I would run the water over my hands and I would do the soap at the mirror. And I can actually remember being like 4 years old and thinking deeply on the subject of water and what it was made of. And so the science and the spirituality of beauty has just been something that's been, it's just come naturally to me in my whole life. And so by the time that I became an esthetician, I had so many awarenesses, and then I had so many points of views about how, how things should be done. And I have really spent the last 20 years trying to trying to get across the message and maybe trying to change the entire masses. Um, when this last maybe 6 months to a year, I realized, no, it's just a very small group of women who are going to show up first. And we're going to be the way showers, and then it will trickle down. Because these ideas are just simple and they are intuitive and they come naturally. And actually, everything you're going to learn is really going to save you time. When I became the Mindful Beauty Guide 10 years ago, I closed down my spa. I moved to a little studio in my house, which is now a magical Airbnb. And I became the Mindful Beauty Guide. And I was telling my clients that, if you use mindfulness and awareness and visualize your best results while you're doing your skin, that amazing things would happen. And I had clients literally laugh out loud at me. And just the other day, I was putting together gifts for my husband's construction company for the wives. And I did beautiful little mirrored trays because I love to put my products on a mirrored tray. And I did the castor oil and spray and a special mask for me. And I was at CVS looking for little bibs and bobs, and there was a mindful beauty kit. I should have taken a photo, but I decided that I wasn't going to like try to get the clout off of it. I was just going to enjoy it for myself. I didn't post it or anything, but it was a kit with a gua sha stone and sheet masks with literally the things that I was saying 10 years ago that people were laughing at me about. So it's hit the mainstream in some ways, but mostly it's hit the mainstream in just the most surface amount, right? Like we talk about mindfulness and we talk about all of the things and meditation, and everything has hit the mainstream with biohackers and tech industry and all of that. But like, how do we bring it down into the body, and how do we just make it really easy and intuitive? And that's what we're going to do today. So first, let's talk about, I'm going to just do a small little lecture, and then we're going to move into an energetic facial massage. And actually, we're going to do some EFT tapping as well. And I'm going to end right at the top of the hour. So Skin Church, I don't know about you, but it just makes a lot of sense when you hear it, right? It's like, oh, ah. At first I was nervous about calling it that because I have a lot of religious family members. And I just thought, gosh, I don't want to offend anybody and like be so arrogant that this would be like my church. And it's not my church. It's just the fact of the matter is that if our body is a temple, our skin is the way in. And there are so many similarities and metaphors and analogies between a doorway, the skin, a temple, and really bringing some spiritual awareness to our actual body. So that's the spirit in which Skin Church was born. And it is going to be a regular meeting for members of the Well, which is my new 6-month membership. Everybody that's in the room either works with me one-on-one in a coaching capacity or as a family member, or is in my community one way or another. And so I've got different layers of that, and we can talk about that one-to-one moving forward. But for the next few Sundays, I'm going to open it up to everybody, and we'll just see what kind of spark we can light, and we can see where it goes. The way that I run my business is I follow the energy. So you will see me trying things, and if the energy doesn't spark up and people aren't going to kind of move into the consciousness with me, then I move on to something else. And I've been doing that for a decade, and it's been quite a journey. And everybody that coaches with me one-on-one for business coaching gets to take advantage of that, because I have been around the interwebs trying this for quite some time, and it feels like it is settling. It feels like it is gelling, and it feels like it is coming home. And so I'm so grateful that you came today. Now let's also talk about other things that we do at church. We have community, right? So that's the other thing that we're here to do. And we're here to really meditate on an idea, meditate and consider and bring awareness to a certain idea. And I also invite you to use the power of perspective, of being able to, you can come outside of your own body and look at yourself from 360 degrees, and look at yourself from this higher, more expanded perspective when you are here at Skin Church with me. There's no rights or wrongs, and it's all just an interesting point of view. But that's where the magic is. That's where the magic is looking at something with a fresh, revitalized perspective. So let's get right into some energy exploration, and welcome, Jacqueline. So let me just tune into you guys real quick. Okay, so we're going to do some EFT tapping for beauty beliefs. So if you're brave, you can put something into the chat and I will incorporate it into the flow. But one of the things that's so important with my work is we want to work with the idea of an infinity symbol. So an infinity symbol has got both sides, right? There's a release and a relax, and there's a code and command. So we're letting things go and we're bringing things in, just like a breath, right? So let's all take a nice deep breath together. Expanding our lungs, and then out, letting it go and really releasing it down into the ground. And now we've got a vertical infinity symbol coming in. So as we start from the center, bringing up and bringing in everything that we need and we require and we desire. And on that way out, let's just start relaxing and releasing anything that no longer serves our highest good, our highest timeline, our highest life track. Bringing in all the fresh possibilities and fresh perspective that this community gathering is offering to us. Letting go the limiting perspectives of mainstream everything, pretty much. Okay, bringing it in. And then just without any effort and without having to follow any instructions, just start bringing some awareness to your heart area. And I am now channeling my beauty energy, so not sure where this will go. So just sit back and get comfortable. Have a glass of water nearby, hopefully with a little sea salt for added electrification of the system. And just start bringing some awareness to the heart area. So now, with our hand, let's just start pressing in. We don't need any oil, but just starting to get to know all of these fascial connections covering and surrounding our heart. The fascia is the never-ending system, our fiber optic connective tissue that is bringing information and hydration and light to our entire system. And for this whole entire session, we're going to be bringing this idea in that our neck is a stem, our face and our head is the flower, and this is the topsoil, the fascia right here. So bring both hands now, and let's just bring our conscious awareness in the form of an energetic attention, and just start digging up the soil, this topsoil. Below us, the trunk, and then the hips, the legs, the knees, the calves, the ankles, the feet, all are connected with the deep inner soil of the earth. Just let this be our topsoil. Let's just dig the garden. And releasing those nutrients, making more available to the stem. And then we can actually start removing any weeds. And the weeds would be the adhesions, any places that you feel tightness. I have some right here, so I'm just going to start. And you can just follow the sound of my voice and follow my hand movements. You don't need to be a fascia expert to do this. This is natural for you. Anywhere you feel tension, tightness, stuck emotions, just go a little bit slower, moving down. Now let's bring in some neck circles. You can continue to dig your soil, or you can leave your fingertips at the clavicle, moving both ways. Really bringing home this notion that your neck is the connection between your face and your body. It's the superhighway, and it's vitally important for flow and glow, nutrition, waste release. Now let's move our head down and just let it hang naturally, but come behind your neck and just start walking your hands. Start walking your hands up and doing some circles at the base of your neck. Being gentle and going at your own pace. You'll feel some lymphatic fluid starting to move, maybe in the back of your throat. Now I want you to do some gentle pinching, the occiput at the bottom of your skull, the connection between the neck. And now you continue to do that, but notice that your hands are being magically drawn to that little divot. There's like a little circle It's like it's a complete circle, actually. Right at the bottom of your skull, the beginning of your neck, there is a soft little circle. That's a chakra called the mouth of God. Go ahead and start circling there. Opening it up actually counterclockwise, as if it was a drain on a faucet. Lean your head back just oh so gently. And then stop circling, gently hold, and now let any discordant, disharmonious energies from thinking, just everything, just anything you've been keeping up in your head, just allow it to gently drain out. I'm just going to go gently here so we don't blow our circuits out. And now go ahead and go clockwise and close that channel down. Okay. So now let's cross over from the top of our shoulder here. We're going to cross and drag. And as we come down, squeeze, cross, drag. And as we come down, let's do that a few more times on each side. And then just shake your hands out a little bit. Okay, now we haven't even touched the face yet, but you can already feel, just come into your center now and already feel the energy and the buzz of your body. Your body loves to be worshiped and touched. Your body absolutely craves it and is so grateful to you. So this is a concept that we talk about in the Bright Rights, and it's self-intimacy, skin intimacy, which brings us to sensuality. And we actually have Holly Kellogg, the founder of Goddess Yoga International, with us today. And her whole entire business is devoted to helping you feel sexy again through the art, science, and magic of sensual feminine movement. And it begins right here. Just getting to know yourself using the senses. So now we're going to move into a EFT tapping session for beauty beliefs. I wanted to open us up a little bit, but let's think of something. And if you're brave, you can put it in the chat. It can either be a beauty belief or it can be a skin tension that you're ready to, something that you're ready to release. So from the skin level, we could say, pigment, if you're ready to release pigment. If you're ready to release tension lines, you could write that. If you're ready to release worries about aging, and you can put anything in the chat and I will include that in our flow. So EFT tapping, emotional freedom technique. It's escaping me, the guy who created it, but I want to give him credit for it. So I will when I think of it. But essentially, it's the concept that our body is the subconscious. Our body is holding the score. We know that, right? And that by touching certain meridian points on the body, we can access stuck emotions, memories, cellular beliefs that are held very deeply. We can access them, acknowledge them, witness them, and release them. And there's something very important here. There's no wrongness about anything here. There's no wrongness that our body had a stuck emotion. We're just taking a moment to look inside, acknowledge, witness, and then release without making them bad or good. I know that's a new concept, and it's probably not a new concept. It's just that in my world, and we can go back to regular life after this, but in my world Emotions are neither good nor bad. Now, they could be painful or uncomfortable, but it's the act of witnessing and being able to play the entire spectrum of your emotions that really puts you into the next level of power. Okay, let me get into the chat here. Awesome, Molly. Tension trauma. Yes. Sad face lines. Okay, so Jacqueline, I hear you. There is a imprint there. Okay, so the way that we do tapping, actually, guess what? I do tapping every day with my I am method that you may have heard about before. It's just simple. It's looking at yourself in the mirror, but not looking at your face, holding your own eye contact, tapping, and bringing in the I am presence, which is not an affirmation. I am is a divine presence that you can align with and install and instill and work with. So don't make it an affirmation, make it a presence. So you can tap anywhere all the time and it works. There's no rhyme or reason. Now I am gonna follow the original guys sort of, I think, I mean, I've never trained with them, but I'm gonna follow a tapping script. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna open it up on our karate chop here. And I haven't done this in a long time, but it lit up for me to do this for you today. We're gonna do karate chop. We're gonna go to the head. I'm gonna call everything out. We'll go to the chest. We're gonna go underneath the armpits. I will call everything out so you can just follow along, knowing that there's no right or wrong. Yes, I am. So let's just bring in the I am right now. So I am is Jesus talked about it. Saint Germain, the ascended master, who some say lives underneath Mount Shasta, who, if you just Google the I am discourses by Saint Germain, you will find a humongous PDF of like 100+ pages of I am downloads. Saint Germain, they call him an ascended master, and throughout history, he would pop up in different times of history in looking the same in paintings. They've got paintings of him like throughout like 500 years, and he would just pop out looking exactly the same. So he is a mystical master to explore. But let's just sit with that violet flame that Holly just invited us to virtually. And Holly has this most amazing violet sacred violet flame oil that I have been working with in my bath. But let's bring in the violet flame and bring in the I am presence. I am that. I already am that. I am that. I am. So it's really speaking to God being able to look at itself through your eyes. Oh, so beautiful. Mm. And what would change if you saw yourself through God's eyes? Okay, so let's just start tapping on the karate chop. Hi, body. Hi, body. I'm here today witnessing you, appreciating myself, and becoming aware of all the places that I am not loving my body and myself, and all the places that I'm holding on to sadness, internal stress, and pain. And despite all that, I deeply love and accept myself. Deep breath in. Hi, body. I'm here, vulnerable, humble, just willing to look at you and tell you, thank you. I love you. I'm sorry. And please forgive me for anywhere that I mistakenly stored my stress, trauma, and pain and sadness away in you. And even though this feels vulnerable and hard to admit and to share, I deeply love and accept you and myself deeply and without question. Inside of the eyebrow. Oh, body, it feels good just to take a little look around and see where my temple has been holding on to some clutter and where I have mistakenly stored boxes and old things, old ideas that no longer are serving me. And even though it feels a little overwhelming to look around at all the clutter, that's okay. I'm here now. And I deeply love you. I deeply love myself. And I'm willing to start new. Side of the eye. Wow, I already feel so much lighter. Thank you, body. I wonder what else is possible now that I realize that I can look at uncomfortable feelings and sadness without having to judge them or good as good or bad. That feels really, really light. What else is possible, body? And I deeply love and accept and cherish and honor and treasure you. Body. The world thinks it's the new year, but we know it's just a turning another number. But we're willing to let go of the entirety of 2023. The stuck tension, the misidentified and misapplied ideas about ourselves and our bodies, the judgment, the shame, the trauma, the hurt feelings, the backstabbing and the betrayal. We are willing and ready to let go of 2023, knowing that winter just started. This is actually not our body's new year. Thank you. I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Underneath the mouth. Feels so good to just be out on a limb and be a little bit different and be a little bit weird. We're not taking the road less traveled. We're not taking the road most traveled, body, and we love that for us. And we deeply love, accept, cherish, honor, treasure, and adore us. Here in the heart, and let's just do our whole, let's just get all this. Dear body, you do so much for me, and sometimes I forget that you are here having a spiritual journey on earth, and I am your spirit guide. I'm not going to forget it. I'm going to be here with you, and I'm going to infuse ourself and ourselves with the maximum amount of divine light and cellular and spiritual energy on a daily basis. This is my pledge. Underneath the bra strap. Okay, body. We're ready to relax. We're ready to release. We're ready to let go. And we're ready to code, command, instill, install, decree, and we decide to bring in the most rich and radiant 2024 possible. Okay, that's round one. We're going to do a second round where we code and command, but how great does that feel? How is everybody feeling? Because I feel freaking amazing. Feels good. Amazing. Okay, so yeah, so this is like an energy workout for our body. Now I'm looking at Leisha, who is Molly and my virtual personal trainer in the Mirror Fitness. Well, we're going to be talking about that soon in one of our community calls. But this is like energetic fitness for the entire body. And can everybody feel how just opening up the flower and the stem and the topsoil actually is affecting everything down to our feet? That's like when people say grounding, that's what it's about. You don't necessarily have to be on the ground. It's about making sure that you're coursing down, you're connecting, and you're bringing in the flow. Okay, so we're going to move around. We're going to do the same thing, but we're going to code and command. I think we're coding and commanding in radiance and richness. Money and beauty are the exact same thing. So you'll often hear me talk about wellness and wealth kind of interchangeably because beauty and money are literally the same exact energy. The more you try to grasp onto it or worry that you don't have it, the less amount you have, right? They both flow, they both exchange, they both grow in value with appreciation. So let's bring in richness for 2024 in the form of more money, cash, clients, bonuses, unexpected gifts. Does that sound good? Okay. Richness, radiance. Anybody else want to throw out something to program in? I mean, I think richness and radiance covers it for a lot of different parts, but ease, I'm loving ease, abundance, health, yes, pleasure, pleasure. Okay, I love it. All right, that's good. Okay. So, hi body, it's me again. I feel so grateful that you just act like the most amazing race car. And the moment that I put some gas in you and change your oil and give you a nice wash and wax, you just come alive and are ready to purr and just take me everywhere I want to go. Thank you, body. And hey, body and being, we are so ready to program in an easeful, abundant, pleasure filled, health filled 2024. And then kind of do a circle as if they're, how Jewish people wear the yarmulke on the, is that what it's called? Hope I didn't butcher that, on the top of the head. That's actually the circle of manifestation. Just tap around your circle of manifestation. Oh, body. Now I realize it's you that creates the money. It's you that creates the pleasure. It's you that I'm here doing everything for. It's you that brings in the health and the wealth. Oh, I'm so grateful. I am so appreciative. Bring in the frequency of appreciation now. Appreciation is a frequency. I am so appreciative. I hereby code, command, install, instill, decree, and decide that 2024 is my richest, most radiant, most pleasure and ease filled year yet. Okay. And keep going right here on the side of the eye. Body. I already feel rich and radiant and abundant and health and wealth filled. And I'm just going to sink into that feeling of already having what I desire, of already being that. Because I know that the life and their body and being works on be, do, have. And so I'm already being that. This is my new normal. Over side of the eye. Richness, radiance, pleasure, abundance, health, energy, momentum, wealth, community, and contribution. Let's bring community and contribution in right under the nose. How can I be a contribution to my community in 2024? How can I share this knowledge and this knowing that I have about energy and about richness and about radiance? How can I share that with the women that are in my immediate circle just by being the example, by being it? How can I become a ripple effect underneath the cheek? Both cheeks. Just by being the example, I can see myself in a future slide. Just bring up a still image of you in 1 week, everyone. just surrounded by the people that you love in your immediate circle, and just allow there to be a spotlight on you, and then allow that spotlight to ripple out into all the people in your life, and see how actually the energy is contagious. We know that cortisol is contagious. Now we know that we are the sum of the 5 people we spend the most time with, and now we can use that as a frequency of increase to prosper everybody that we come into contact with. Okay, side of the eye. Feels so good to know that my richness and my radiance actually improves the lives of everybody around me and improves the world. Let's go all around our ears, opening up these channels. Thank you, body. Thank you. I now hereby and still install, code, command, decree, and decide that everything that I have said is so. Okay, underneath the chin. And I'm also committed to remembering how easy this is and how natural this is. Come down your neck, heart, and how I am committed to remembering that all I have to do is wake up inside this movie we call life and start coding and commanding, instilling and installing and decreeing and deciding that this is my most rich, radiant, radically beautiful year filled with pleasure and ease and abundance yet. Underneath the bra. And as I close out this session with myself, I bring in the gratitude and the frequency of appreciation, and I start flooding my entire body with these new codes, with these new commands. And now just start tapping all the way down your side, going down the sides of your legs, your neurolymphatic points. Just tap or slap all the way down. And then when you get to your ankles, tap and slap on the inside of your feet and ankles, coming all the way up. Make some nice cleansing breaths. Sides of the boobs, back of the neck, and top of the head. And that is our tapping session. So take a moment to allow that energy to regulate and to become your new normal. Take a sip of water. If you don't already have a sea salt in your water, put some in after the session. This is fun. You guys, you are my angels. You're Amy's angels. So thank you for showing up for me and showing up for yourselves. So let's open it up for any sharing. If you'd like, but there's one last facial exercise we're going to do. We're going to feed, yes, your body's radiant warmth. That's your beauty energy. Okay, so we're going to do, and then I do want to answer any questions and open up for sharing. But we need to feed our flower now. So we've got our topsoil all stimulated. And this reminds me, this is so funny because I've actually not talked about the stem and the flower and the topsoil before. But when I was a mom, when I was a new mom and my son was little, I had invented that where at night when I would put him to sleep, I would dig up his garden on his back, and then we would plant the seeds, and then we would water it, and it just somehow it brought me back there. But let's water our flower. So we've got our stem, we've got our topsoil, we've got all that hydration and nutrition coming up, right? So now we're going to just take our fingers back and get kind of in that clavicle, actually right underneath the clavicle, right here. And then tip your flower And as if there was a straw right here beating, just open this up. Everything's already opened. Tilt your head and imagine your face, your flower, sipping the energy, the hydration in, and breathing in and sipping it, and using your powers of intention and awareness, and bring it up into your face. Okay, next side. Right underneath the clavicle right here. Find a little spot. Tip your flower, the straw right here, and start sipping it in. Why is it so easy for me to be rich and radiant and full of pleasure? Oh, did you do it? Maybe. I don't think mom did that. No. Molly and I had the original almond mom. I don't know if you've heard of the term almond mom on TikTok, but we have an almond mom. She is our yoga fairy princess mom. But I don't remember her ever massaging me. In fact, I think she had a hard time with intimate connection like that. Okay, so how do we feel? Feel good. And Jacqueline can feel the infinity flow through her body. Yes, you can use the infinity for everything. Worrying about things that are not belonging to us, flow it out, return to sender, make sure to close it off, and then bringing in what you want. You can use it all sorts of different ways. We can actually do, on one of the skin churches, we can place infinity symbols over our whole body. Hi, Holly. Did you want to share?
Sure. Yeah, I just wanted to first of all say hi to everyone. So nice to see everyone. I wasn't going to come live because I'm feeling under the weather, but I feel so much better after this exercise. I feel literally like energy just running through me. And I woke up feeling like crap. So, anyways, I can feel it. And I don't know how many of you work with Amy with your skin and with like your beauty stuff, but Amy's worked with me recently and it's literally eliminated all my desire for all the outside stuff that I thought I needed for beauty. And now I feel like I'm just showing up a different version of myself. So it really works.
Thank you, Holly.
You're welcome.
It works, and it's fun because the skin is just the beginning. The skin is just the beginning. When we can bring these superpowers on, we can use this richness and radiance on every area of our life. How do you feel, Laisha? This might be Laisha. Is this your first energy session with me? Oh, I think you're on mute. Ask to unmute.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay. No, we've done a little bit of energy work.
Okay, good.
But the whole the flower, the stem, this being the soil, we've never done that before. And it's interesting though, Amy, because I mentioned I broke out in that stress rash. And we got some really sad news about my stepfather's health right before Christmas. And so, like I mentioned, just I tend to hold things in and my body just couldn't handle that stress. So I actually broke out in a rash. It was exactly where the soil is, and it came at my neck, but stopped, and it went out to the front of my shoulders. So just like kind of what massaging. I mean, it's gone now, but I feel like that had like just the internal stress, like it was trying to either release.
Yeah. Well,
But just all the tapping and everything, I feel so much better.
the skin is actually our part of our excretory system. And emotions are chemicals, they're neuropeptides, right?
Mhm.
So we have a thought, creates a neural firing that goes to the hypothalamus. The hypothalamus, which is like our pharmacy, goes and creates a chemical, a neuropeptide that goes out to the cell. The cell grows a receptor. It acts like a little key. It unlocks the door, it turns it on. So if you're flooding your body with lots of cortisol, adrenaline, the stress hormones, where is it supposed to go? It has to come out. So that's the biggest gift that you could give yourself, which is to just to allow yourself to go like, oh, I saw the connection between the grief, the overwhelm, all of the sadness, the shock of the diagnosis. I've been going through the same thing. My skin has been doing all these rashes, but instead of, putting a cortisone on it or something, because that's the
Mhm.
only thing the doctor will give you. Doctors have no idea what causes rashes. They call it dermatitis, and there's like 10 different kinds of dermatitis, and it's all just it's a catch-all word for I don't know. And if you really think about it, I mean, doctors are, especially dermatologists, are trained in the diseases of the skin, but they're not trained in the conditions of the skin. And I just think it's kind of funny how like retinol and cortisone and some bleach. I mean, they have like 5 things and they give it to everybody. You got acne, you get that. You got this, you get that. You got that, you get that. So I'm glad we know that we can just, and then the other thing to that is that we have been trained, we have been told and sold and imprinted with the lie, and this is cultural and commerce based, obviously, because there's the beauty industry is a multi-billion-dollar industry. We've been told and sold the lie that our skin conditions are wrong in some way, that a rash is wrong, that it's unwanted. Even a wrinkle, that a wrinkle is unwanted. Maybe I want a wrinkle. Maybe I want that wrinkle. I get to decide that. I bring the meaning to everything. But the moment that you go, oh, like the rash isn't a bad thing. I sent most of you pictures of the rash that I had. It was like great. It was a crust. It had crusted and red encrusted my whole face. In a lot of ways, my face is my fortune, right? It's like that's how I move my business forward, by using my face, like to be an example of radiance. And that was a trip, but I just tried to stay present with it and went away in like 5 days. Did yours move through pretty quickly?
Yeah, I would say about 5 days. That and it never, I mean, it never, went up to my face. It wasn't welted, it wasn't crusted or anything. And the doctors, they're like, well, we could put you on some prednisone. I'm like, oh no, thank you.
Yeah, so put your whole
Yeah.
body through yeah. Anyway, that
Mhm.
is that is an option for some, but we don't have to do that. So how does everybody feel about it still being winter, and then it's just like the first 2 years of two weeks of winter? Winter just started. Doesn't that feel good that we don't have to really think of tomorrow as our new year necessarily? Yes, it's symbolically and numerologically a new year, but it's winter time. So keep going within, keep warm. You don't have to get into action and do all sorts of things. Like maybe create some first quarter goals, but don't worry too much about it being like go time. Go time is spring,
Mhm.
and we can go in the spring. Yeah, go inward. Well, Holly, you live in Sedona, which is nice. Yeah, I'm not really a fan of winter that well either. I think I'm more of a well, Jacqueline invited me to astrocartography. Jacqueline, would you like to open up and speak on that? I've started to hear about it on TikTok and I'm interested.
Oh yeah, I love it. First of all, I just want to say, all of you ladies, especially the ones who have the videos on, you're all so beautiful. And I love the programming going on right now because it's like we're just kind of swimming in and owning our own beauty and connecting with each other's. And
Yes.
it's like shameless, and it just, I love that. So beautiful. Um, astrocartography. So it's funny, I was actually born in a blizzard, like in a car. and and it's so funny, it always snows on my birthday. And I did astrocartography, which is you take your birth chart and when you were born, the astrology of who you are is different in every location. So even though I was born in New York, like if I were to look at where the stars were at when I was born in Vancouver, for example, it actually is very favorable for me. Like a cold environment is like where I need to go. It's so interesting. And then you can, like, there's certain websites where you put in your birth information and then they have like lines of, okay, where is your Venus line fortunate? Where is your Mercury line fortunate? And wherever that is, like it shows you where you'll have like some good success with money or where you have some good success with love, whatever dimension is highlighted in your chart and what you really want for in that life. And it's kind of like traveling with astrology. And it's so interesting.
Yeah, I want to do that. And I know, like, Holly, you've had it done, and I know that your Jupiter, oh, you talked about that. Your Jupiter line was where you opened your yoga studio in North Carolina.
I'm gonna unmute it for just a second. Yeah. I had it done here in Sedona from a Vedic astrologer. His name is Dennis Harness. And he did it for me, and it showed the exact line, which is Jupiter, which is your money line, right? And it went straight through the city exactly to the T, Wilmington, North Carolina, where I opened my yoga studio and had a successful studio for 5 years. So it was so interesting, but I want another one done just because I don't remember it.
And because you're feeling the call to move.
I'm feeling the call to LA, and I don't know what LA holds for me. So let's just see what my chart says.
And I'm invested in it saying that I'm supposed to be in Mendocino because I love it here. I guess I love it, or maybe it's just the most comfortable thing for
So
me.
Jacqueline, do you do it?
I've been looking into because I just got my license in behavior analysis and I can't wait to move because I could do it remote. It's like finally, oh wow, I can have a remote job. So now I'm looking to move and I'm like, I'm a reflector in HD. So environment is super important for me and like energy and everything. And I kind of like read a room and like, which is good for analysis. But I was going crazy last night looking for different websites and I noticed a lot of the websites, you have to kind of zoom into the cities and then like it's hard to find like what is exactly on the line, what's not. But I did find a Russian website which was private. I don't even know how I was like on page 40 of Google. And you basically put in your city and then she tells you, like, it generates what percentage you'll be happy there. And like it's like my favorite. If you put your email on I'm actually on the site right now if you want me to invite you to it. Because I don't even know what
That would be perfect, Jacqueline. Your audio is kind of scratchy.
Oh, okay. Yeah, if you want, I could invite you to the private website. I just invited Amy. It's free. So it's fine.
Holly, we should do it. How about I will invite Holly since you invited me.
Okay, sounds good.
Does that work? Okay, awesome. But that's another way to look at what Jacqueline was just talking about is the soil. Where is our soil? And then I want to close out today because we're going to end right at 10. I want to close out today with an idea about soil and about our flowers. I want you to think of your life as a garden and think of a beautiful garden. It has all different flowers. It has all different types of plants, but sometimes you can't plant certain plants next to each other, right? And then there's some plants that really need to be by each other. It's called companion plants. I want you to think about everybody in your world and your whole entire life as this garden, and you as this beautiful flower inside of the garden. So if there are, weeds that need to be pulled, that's one thing. If you don't have the right companion planting next to you, that's another thing. Make sure that you get the right amount of nutrients, of water, of sunshine for your particular flower. And then just know, in the same way that a seed is planted and then grows, it doesn't need anything other than the right conditions, the right environmental conditions to grow. It doesn't really need anything else but that, right? The acorn becomes the oak tree with the right amount of soil nutrition, water, and sunshine. It doesn't need anything else outside of itself but that. So let me leave you with that for today on Skin Church. Keep bringing that reverence and that worship to your body and to your being. Yes, we are pre-coded for being the best that we can be. And that's it. Okay, so I hope to see you next week. I'll email everybody. And I love you. Have a great New Year's Eve and happy anniversary, Molly. Bye.
Thank you, Amy.
You're welcome, Marcia. Oh, thanks.
I'm 62 and I have braces. So
I love it. I love that you're investing in your teeth. Our teeth are one of our teeth in our jaw, you guys. If you want to prevent facial sagging, keep those gums nice. Our jaw and our teeth are so important. So I think that's awesome.
yep, it's for the jaw, so it's helping.
Yeah, awesome. And everybody, tongue posture, that's another thing we can talk about. Tongue on the top of the palate and releasing in here. Oh gosh, I could lecture for hours. We'll save it for another time. Okay, bye everyone.
Thank
This was
you.
amazing. Thank you.
Okay, bye.
Bye.